Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV. My name is Leandro Trossard, and I still remain your favorite podcaster. Today, I have a member of the team on this podcast is making his comeback fully, and I also have someone who had just one appearance last season on this podcast, but is ready to go for this season. Let me bring on the guys, and I'll be starting from Wale. Wale is a Liverpool fan, as you all know. Wale, how you doing now?
Thank you so much for having me back. It's always a pleasure to talk sports with you guys. I'm happy.
Let's go. I have the man right here, Ajagz. He's an Arsenal fan, and we all know what happened at the Etihad. It ended Arsenal 2, Manchester City 2. Ajagz, how are you feeling?
Mixed feelings. Bitter and good, but good in the sense that there used to be a time, 4 or 5 years ago, 3 years ago back, if I was playing Man City, it would have been, how many goals are they going to score against me? How many goals are you going to concede without replying anyone back? But now it has gotten to a situation where, what's his name? Haaland had only 2 touches in the whole game. Because why? My team is getting better. And I promise you guys, with the way it's going, so many teams are going to cry this season. Thank you so much.
So many teams are going to cry this season. But let me start from one place. You know, there are so many decisions, in the game. There are so many controversial talks that is going to be going all through this week. And then I want to start with the red card. You know, Arsenal played the whole of 45 minutes with a man down. Kudos to the team. I mean, they held their heads up, and then it's just the John Stones equaliser at the 98th minute that gave City the draw. Ajagz, looking at this game, the red card, how much effect does this add, in the game? Because there's so many conversations going on that if the red card was not given, I mean, if it's just 11v11, Arsenal will come out with something right here.
I would say this. My team has the best defensive record last season. And we carried over that same defensive record this season. We've conceded twice in 2 games. The first time was against Brighton. And what happened? A Declan Rice red card. And he quickly made us go. The second time, Man City, the first goal, yes, Haaland as usual.
Right.
My players lacked. But the second goal, they were tired. Everybody was fatigued already because trying to hold that defense down, and the referee had an extra time in. It was crazy. Back to the red card situation. If we didn't have that red card, Saka would still be there, and they would have been able to bring in a Sterling and Gabriel Jesus to fortify that forward and put more pressure on Man City. Everybody knows Man City. Man City is a conceding team. This season they've conceded in the 4 games they've had, they've conceded in each of those games. Their defense is not good. They are very porous. So a defense that is porous like Man City, and I have my attackers ready to keep going at them, that match would have been a win for me. But as everybody knows, the refereeing team of Premier League, I think they're against Mateta. So,
well, now that you talked about the referee, Wale, let me give you this. Is it Arsenal ill-discipline or refereeing inconsistency in this game?
Thank you so much.
There's been a lot of conversation about the red card that, the referees, the PGMOL, is this, is that. Fans will react, definitely.
True.
If you are on the other side, you will definitely react. You understand? But is it Arsenal ill-discipline or referees inconsistency? Because we saw that against Declan Rice, against Brighton. There was an argument that it shouldn't be the second yellow card. That it's questionable that the referees are not consistent enough. But again, today it happened. It wasn't the second yellow card which Trossard got wasn't because of the foul, but because of his attempts to just kick the ball after the whistle had been blown. So is it Arsenal ill-discipline or referees inconsistency?
Thank you. I would say it's a combination of both, but 80% more of inconsistency, on the part of the referee. Because prior to that, Doku also did the same thing.
Okay.
And the referee ignored it. He didn't even get a card. Heel discipline on the part of Arsenal, let me say 20% comes from the Arsenal player. You had a red card in your previous game for Declan Rice for a similar thing.
Right.
The rules have changed in the EPL right now. You don't just, even when a referee, gives a decision that is not okay, you all are not expected to go to him. Only the captain should go to him.
Right.
So some of these things are just looking to us fans, they are looking like, oh, these are things that we are not familiar with. You understand? But they are actually the new rules. So, and I'm sure that these players are aware of this, but they still did it. So that's ill discipline. So it's just 20% ill discipline and 80% inconsistency on the part of the referee.
Ajagz, do you agree with that?
I disagree. And the reason why I disagree is we've all been watching football for as far back as over 20 years.
Right.
And these players come from, in their trainings, most of them don't follow the trainings of the rules most of these rules that the referee body brings in. They play to what they know. They play to the game. For example, Declan Rice's record the other time. It is human of every football player to do that.
But there's a rule now that you can't do that.
Human of every player to delay delay the game.
Yes,
okay.
it is for them.
So you think it is right?
To me, it's not wrong.
Okay.
And because people keep talking about rules, you can't tell me all the rules that the Premier League brings in are being followed to the letter. No. I remember when there was a time they said the only person that can approach a referee should be the captain. And so many times players approach the referee and the referee don't do nothing. You understand? There are so many things that as a referee, and that's why you're a referee. That's why we're not using AI to ref. We can as well just use AI to ref and they follow, okay, you put all the rules in, you key those rules in, and once you key the rules in, they give they trust out the judgment. That's why you have the human instinct. That's why we have referees there. That's why we have VAR. And the reason why is for you to use your human intellect to decipher, okay, this game is a tense game. These are two teams that are going at loggerhead. These are big teams. First and second, they're trying to make sure who is the best. Do we give a record at this situation? Is this a warning game? I know I've seen games last season that a player should have gotten 2 red cards, but no. The referee used his initiative to say, okay, no, if I give this red card, it affects the gameplay. It changes the tide of things. Let us play and let us enjoy the game. I won't lie to you. I noticed Guardiola's face after the red card. He didn't like it because that's not what he wanted. Because he knows winning the game with Arsenal one red card means that he lost the game. Because he knows that he needs to beat these people with 11 men. Now he has to go back to Arsenal to prove a point. That's what he has to do now. So if we cannot go back to referees using their intellect to ref, then we can also just put a computer system there and it comes out, brings a robot and gives a red card or gives a yellow card as well as.
So are you saying there's not going to be any part of the blame to Arsenal team, with the way they approach this? Because where they say where there's no rule, there's no law, right? Is it where there's no law?
Where there's no law, there's no. Yeah.
You understand? So they all know this going into the season. The players know this. There's a meeting before the season with the players, with the referees. Like, okay, these are the rules. I mean, the referees give out rules before the season starts. That this is what and what have been happening. But this is the second time in 3 matches for Arsenal for that kind of errors. Don't you think Arteta needs to team needs to just adjust or be very careful?
Not to cut you short, right? Not to cut you short. The Declan Rice red card, a player in Brighton did the same thing before Declan Rice did it. Nothing was done about it.
Yeah, I get
that was why we said inconsistency on the part of the referee.
I want to let you understand that.
Okay.
If that happened, I want to ask you something. We're playing soccer. We're playing football.
Right.
You didn't give a foul. You didn't call anything for someone doing something. What stops you from doing the same thing means that you don't see it as a problem. What's his name? What's his name? Doku kicked the ball. What stops Trossard from doing the same thing? And everybody keeps saying, oh, you're already on the yellow card, you should watch your game. No, it is football. That's why it's called football.
I get you.
So the fact that so I understand what he's saying.
Okay.
You understand? I understand that. The referee sometimes has to set the tone.
Yes.
On the pitch.
If whatever level you're playing,
but
keep going on that.
As a player, as a professional who has played in the Euros, you play for your national team, you've played at big tournaments, World Cup. You should be disciplined enough to know that.
I mean, this is.
If someone escapes something, you may not be lucky.
You need to understand is this. That's why it's called football. It is football.
So Arsenal player is not at fault. Is that what you are saying?
I shouldn't be careful to play a game because that's why I like Casemiro. There was one game 2 seasons ago. Casemiro had a red card, and the next match or so, 2 matches after, he had the same red card for almost similar tackle. Why did he do that? Everybody's wondering, no, No, he's a senior player. He understands that it is football. It happens. I remember when we had Xhaka too, the same thing. It is football. It happens. You can't start reducing. We don't want to turn football to a situation where you touch me, I tell you sorry.
Right.
No, then you've taken the fun out of it. Then as well, everybody can go and play it now. Then there's no fun in it.
I get your point, Ajaz. Yeah, I mean, that's 100%. But again, football these days, it's like being in front of a judge. I mean, there's constitution, and there's a way you can't just if you commit something, you'll be punished for that. This has been something that if it keeps happening with Arsenal, if they can, I feel they need to curb this a little bit. I mean, we understand the inconsistency of the referee, but again, don't you think your team, I mean, Arsenal too, also needs to just be watchful of this, because that is where I'm
Arsenal
going to.
Arsenal fans don't ever think that their team has
because there is no way you are not getting out of this. You are not getting out of this.
You can't win the league with. You cannot win the league with all these antics or
3-4 years ago.
Delay tactics and all this stuff. You cannot.
3-4 years ago, when I play Liverpool,
right,
it used to be a war because they used to call us timid, and they would always ride us. They were stronger.
We didn't play. We've never played physical football.
We were strong.
We have never played physical football. We have never played. We have never with Arsenal. No.
With Arsenal?
Nope.
I will remind you of that physical football because I remember one time when it was 0-0 at first half, and then one of the players started fighting Xhaka, and ended up turning the tide of the game.
Fighting Xhaka or Xhaka pushed Trent.
No.
And
Trent
caused chaos.
My point is this:
we played football.
In long and short of it is this: if Guardiola at the point said it's gonna get to a situation where players will start going on strike. If I was I won't lie to you, I don't mind the fine, whatever. If I was Arteta, I'd have told my players not to come out for that.
I mean, that would be fine for us because you will be docked some points, and that would be good for Liverpool.
No, because
that is part of indiscipline.
I understand.
Indiscipline.
It's because they think it can't keep happening and not.
So
it's costing us.
So when Luis Diaz goal was disqualified last season against Spurs, so Jurgen Klopp should have told those players to leave the pitch also.
Let's go.
No, you don't do football like that.
I understand what happened today. We understand this has been happening with Arsenal. But my point is this. We know what these people, I mean the ref, PGMOL, we know what this rule states. The team, all the 20 teams in EPL, even the championship, they know this rule. I mean in Europe, we all know this rule. I feel for you to be off this thing happening, why not go back to your own house and, okay guys, this is the rule. Let's be careful out there. It's simple. This is costing the team.
It's simple.
You can adjust. Arsenal and Arteta can adjust to this. I mean, yes, I understand. It's something we understand the inconsistency. I'm not saying the referees are right. I'm not saying
they are not right.
But inconsistency on the referees. But again,
is the Declan Rice record and Trossard record, are they similar? They're not similar.
They are not, but it's a little bit kind of because it was after the game. It blew it was obstructing the next play for Declan Rice.
The ball.
He kicked the ball.
Do you know what would have happened? Manchester City would have stopped the ball and continued playing.
No,
it was their foul.
So that you see what did you just say? Manchester City would have stopped the ball.
Stop the ball, just
played, right?
touch and
then
play.
What Declan Rice one was what? The ball was stopped already, about to play. He cleared out, right?
Right.
Yes.
Two different things. So you telling me that? So what do I want to go as a technical advisor? What am I telling my players? You're giving. What is the guarantee that the next time again my player does something that is not similar to the two events that?
But all these two events,
I want to paint.
Wale, sorry, please. All these two events, can be avoidable.
They are not similar.
You can. Yeah, I understand they are not similar.
So players should not try.
I understand they are not similar. But these things can be avoidable.
But
do you agree they can be avoidable?
They are avoidable.
But these things,
these are discipline issues. See, Jose Mourinho once told Balotelli, "You are the only player I brought to this game. I don't have a striker on the bench. Please, if anybody kicks you, just leave him. If anybody touches you, don't argue. If they beat you, don't do anything." What do you think he was trying to do?
Do we notice
to make him not get a red card?
Do we notice something
even though he eventually got red card because we know the type of player Balotelli was. But that's what Larry is trying to tell you, that that is what Arteta should have told the Arsenal players.
No, I'm not disputing.
It's as simple as
I want you guys to understand.
Don't even argue. Play football.
No, see, I'm not. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying you guys feel there's an indiscipline in that they need to work on. I'm not saying that. What I'm letting you guys understand is that it is two different events.
I understand.
The point is, what is the guarantee that my next game, somebody would do something that is not similar to those three and we'll get the red card, then we'll go back to the same drawing board again. Okay, what are we going to do?
We have said the
Because I'll give you an example of a player in my team that had indiscipline. And he was really talked to, and he had the least red card in the whole season.
Shaka? Yes, granted. Even now in Bayern Leverkusen, he has
I want
changed.
you to understand that it is confusing for the team, the technical advisor. What are we going to tell our players? Don't challenge balls again. Don't play mind games again. Don't try and make the game more entertaining for people.
No,
Declan Rice is a senior, he's a seasoned player.
kicking
You
the
know
ball.
Declan Rice has been playing.
So I'll counter that. Kicking the ball away, trying to delay play.
Those
Those
are mind
are
games.
not.
games in
Those are
today's
not
football.
in today's football.
In today's
Those are
football,
just
they are not
no.
mind games. They
See,
are punishable offense.
let me tell you. If you want to win the league, the EPL,
rules are there
play
now.
football.
Not EPL. If you watch what's going on in Europe now,
It's
guys,
simple.
if you watch what's going on in Europe, if a ref issue a card to a player and the player is trying to contest, the coaches on the sideline sometimes run to their players that calm down. Don't.
It's as simple as that.
Because they know that it might cost them.
My point, see, I agree with you.
Whatever the referee takes as his decision is final.
I will say this, and my final word on this.
Right.
You guys are right, but I'm telling you this, and count this word in future, that the way football is going, if we keep going this way, it's going to become a very soft game.
So football has been boring anyway.
No,
you understand?
The boring is different from. It's going to be a very soft game. It's going to be about more money than the actual love of the game, that we all play for.
All right, this is Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV. I've been having fun with my guys right here, and this episode is proudly sponsored by Chai Clothing. Chai Clothing, as you can see, this is what I'm rocking. This is from Chai Clothing, and they have some gifts for the viewers as well. So there will be some questions and answers that will be put in at the end of this podcast. So if you can get them right, and also follow on Instagram, you can follow Chai Clothing on Instagram and follow Gold Rush Football Podcast on Instagram. The questions will be there on how to win your own merch. So I have some for you right here. If you love what you see, you can always check Chai Clothing. They have some lovely stuff right here for us, and as long as you're part of this podcast, you'll be getting some of this beautiful brand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they make this for Gold Rush Football Podcast. Yes,
Very nice material.
yeah,
Nice.
they make this for Gold Rush Football Podcast, and we have lot of something like this, in our band, and we'll be giving it out. We also have some, this is
Winter is coming.
yeah, winter is coming. Yeah,
Nice.
you can win this for yourself as well. And I also have and this is
The hoodie.
this is a hoodie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, all this is being given to us by Chai Clothing, CHI Clothing. You can check them out on Instagram. So to order for yours if you also like this, and meanwhile we'll be giving out some of this as well on this podcast. Also, this episode is sponsored by Better Life Stores. Better Life Stores is having. They also give us some goodies here. Better Life Stores is an online flea market where you can buy your office items, your back to school kids items as well. So they have this beautiful jotter for us, and then there's a bag. We'll be having some of this for the viewers as well, and also our co-host here. They'll be going with some of these goodies as well. So that is that. Anyways, back to why we are here, guys. City, should they have been more prepared for Arsenal today? Or because after the red card, we saw Guardiola doing a repetition, the passing back to back. They couldn't break down this Arsenal defense, despite Arsenal are playing with a one-man down. Kudos to Arteta and the boys. I mean, very, very disciplined with that. I mean, this is one of the best performance, when it comes to defense. For you to play City with that 45. I mean, this Manchester City and Pep Guardiola playing them a man down with 55 minutes, and they held it down. Not until they go from John Stone. Come on, we have to give this guy kudos. Or City should have planned more for Arteta. Wale.
Oh well, I think City has not been playing the free-flowing football that we know them to play. I won't take anything away from Arsenal. They were solid, but I still have a feeling that at the start of the season, it takes them a little, a while before they, kick into their gears. They had some key players missing also, just as Arsenal had players missing. They had Kevin De Bruyne, whom we know that is, a maestro when it comes to the midfield, missing. But we have to give it to Arsenal, because Arsenal actually came prepared that, okay, we've been coming here to take a draw. We're actually here to beat you guys. You could see the confidence. Even when they got the first goal, the second goal, they smelled blood after they got the first goal, and they went for it, and they got the second goal. And one thing we should be scared for Arsenal is that right now they are like the best set piece team.
Thank you. That's where I'm
in
about
the Premier
to go.
League. In the Premier League. So I feel that not like Arsenal were good, not like they were 1000% like the Barcelona of 2000 and Xavi and Iniesta, that team. But because Manchester City
the best team in the world.
I mean, that's arguably the best team in the world. But because Manchester,
like that. Say almighty. Go ahead, please.
I think because Manchester City offered little, they actually offered little. There are ways, Manchester City go about it, and also because of the tactics of Arteta. If he had, gotten a red card and he still kept on playing the way he played, he would have been smoked. So but he came back and said, okay, fine, if we get a point from here, we can hit them on the counter. Arsenal were really, really good today.
Should we talk about Arsenal set piece? You guys are just, Arsenal set piece is one of
the best in Europe.
The way they play. I mean, when Arsenal is about to take a set piece, you see the set piece coach standing beside Arteta, ready for jubilation that this one is banker. You understand? Like, that confidence is there.
Yeah, sure.
Days. What's going on? What's the secret, Ajagz? Or is the teams? Or is it the teams that are just sleeping? Or Arsenal's? What's going on?
First of all, the set piece coach is really doing his job.
And meanwhile, this guy was with City before.
Oh,
guess what? It was Arteta that brought the guy to City.
It's good.
It was Arteta that brought the set piece guy to City. When Arteta left,
he took him.
Let's go.
But he changed his tactics though, because before it used to be compound in the center. So what he has been doing now is different.
They are flooding the.
So he floods all the players at the back post.
That's crazy.
Isolates
either
Gabriel.
Not only Gabriel.
Gabriel is the key man there. Yeah.
Big Gabby. So please don't call him.
Full respect.
Well,
big Gabby. Okay. Yes. So he has big Gabby. Gabby is a nuisance. So he's one person that I know will get the job done. If you notice, when he almost scored the first time, when Doku was the one marking him.
That it was off.
Yeah. So what happened when the ball came the next time? Doku had to go and meet his uncle Kyle Walker, and said, Uncle Kyle Walker, please can you help me?
And Kyle Walker slept
Walker kept playing with him. But he forgot who he is. He's called Big Gabby. That's one of my best defenders. And a lot of people are going to come for me, especially Arsenal fans, but I'm going to say this. Gabriel is better than Saliba. You understand?
Gabriel better than Saliba.
You understand? And that's one of the reasons why he...
But these two complement each other.
I'm not saying based on the fact
that's his opinion anyway.
I'm not saying based on the fact that okay they don't work hand in hand. No, they work hand in hand.
They are a perfect pair. Yeah.
But Gabriel is better than Saliba in the sense that
technically or strength.
You see, that's the thing with Gabriel. It's all round, right? Gabriel attacking is good. You get Saliba doesn't do attacking. He doesn't push ball forward too much. Because he knows once he does that and loses ball, it's hard for him to. He doesn't want to take that risk. But Gabriel doesn't care. You saw Gabriel going twice into the box.
Right.
Like you said, set piece. Gabriel has had no set piece goals in the past 2 seasons.
Yes.
Why? Because he's confident on the ball. You understand? When it comes to last minute tackles, Gabriel has had more last minute tackles than Saliba. Why? Because he's confident in himself. Even when people will feel he may get a red card or he may get the penalty. No. Gabriel will go for it. I know Saliba has done it, but I'll tell you, I like Big Gabby. I'm a big fan of Big Gabby. He's one of the best defenders, and I think with the way it is, he's working perfectly with the set piece. Because if you look at the way he tries to knock the ball, he wants the set piece,
right?
And people forget who gives him the ball.
Saka.
You understand?
Now that you mentioned Saka, let me ask you this again. Taking off Saka to be that sacrificial lamb, was that the right decision? Because there's been a lot of mixed feelings. Arsenal fans have been hearing a lot of, Saka should be there. It was Martinelli that needs to be out. But what do you think? Taking off Saka, was it the right decision?
If I was him, if I was Arteta at that situation, I would have left Saka, taken out Martinelli, brought in Jesus, and taken out
Havertz.
No, you can take out Havertz. That kind of
Star
situation.
boy.
Take out Partey and bring Gabriel Jesus.
You sure?
Yes.
You want to take out Partey from the
Take out
midfield?
Partey. Yeah. Because Partey would never push past the midfield for you.
I mean, and that's what you needed.
No.
So for me, I believe
You don't understand what I mean. Partey would never push past that midfield. So what we needed in that game at that point was a Gabriel Jesus, a Saka, a Sterling that is fast. That once we get that ball, run with it and get those fouls.
with 10 men.
Yes, and keep pushing Man City back to try and come back.
Do you know what the ball possession was when the...
Now, when you talk about ball possession, now
So around
let me just
72
chip in this
Yeah,
here.
because-
Let me chip in this. It was. I mean, we've been giving this Arsenal big ups. Since the beginning of this podcast. Let's talk a little bit about City. Rodri-less City. We saw what happened. This guy is arguably one of the best player in the world
Right now.
We saw the. Do you think if Rodri was on this pitch today, we'll see a different City side?
True. You're right, because before he left the pitch, we saw what happened. City were dominant, and there's a stat that with Rodri on the pitch, they've lost lesser games. Without him on the pitch, they've played 11 without him. They lost 4. That's almost like 40% of their games.
Right.
So it shows how important that guy is, and for people to be pushing for a Ballon d'Or for him, for him to have played almost maybe 60 or I don't know how many games.
We'll be killing bets with just one stone today. In the last 2 episodes, on this podcast, we talk about the Ballon d'Or. So now that you mentioned the Ballon d'Or, let me just ask your own opinion. Who do you think is going to win this, and who do you want to win this? I mean, there are 2 different questions. So let me ask you. Let me put you on the spot here. Who do you think is going to win?
Who do I want? I mean, if I look at it, the person I want to win this Ballon d'Or is not even. I'm not sure it's part of them.
Okay, so who do you want? So who is winning? Don't let's go to the person you say is not part of them. So who is winning it?
Who do I think they will give it to?
Okay, yeah. Who do you think they will give it to?
I think they will give it to Vinicius.
Vinicius. Vinicius.
My own is not about who they're giving it. My own is who deserves it.
I know who deserves it.
And for me, it's Vinicius.
Vinicius.
And I'll tell you the reason why I said
Okay.
I said so. I've never liked Vinicius, but he earned my respect.
Brazilian Apororo.
That's what they call him.
Yeah, I've never liked him, but he earned my respect. In the sense that I remember back in the days when Vinicius first came to Real Madrid,
It was so rubbish.
all he could do was run and leave ball behind. You get and then I used to tell my friends then, if you are, and it even they transferred it even into the game, whereby
Benzema,
he couldn't cut it.
Yeah, Benzema was so
You understand?
annoyed.
All he does is run and try and pass in, and he couldn't even make most of those passes.
Crosses, yes.
But look at, he came from that position to be able to cut in, make shots,
He will score goals, important goals.
You understand? Help Real Madrid win 2 Champions Leagues. You understand? They won their league, won their cups. You understand? Yes, in Brazil, for Brazil, he was not able to get anything. But everybody knows that Brazil is a champion. It's not disrespect to Brazil, the Brazil national team. But the Brazil national team has too much problem that Vinicius cannot save them, right? But I'll tell you this, it's the only one that I see that deserves. Yes, people say Rodri, right? But Rodri is good.
Right.
He's one of the best defensive midfielders in the world right now, right? But his impact compared to Vinicius in the team, it can't be compared.
That's Ajax, speaking out his own facts right there. which a lot of people out there will not want to agree with. That's your opinion, but we leave that to the audience to let them decide. Anyways, guys, enough of Manchester City and Arsenal. Let's now, because we have a Liverpool fan here, so we saw the game, Manchester City and Arsenal today. Where does this leave? Let me call it a premature prediction. Where does this leave Liverpool? We saw these two teams are arguably the two best teams in the league. The two toppers last season. So where does this leave Arne Slot and Liverpool this season?
So don't forget that Liverpool, the current Liverpool squad is they call this squad Liverpool 2.0. Don't forget. So this is not a new team that you are not familiar with. This is a team that almost competed in 4 finals last season. Almost. Lost the FA Cup until injuries started setting in. We took some young boys to Old Trafford. We started having injury problems because of the depth of the squad and stuff like that. So don't underestimate this team, because this is a project that started last season, not now. The only change is a coach. Someone said, "Oh, he inherited one of the best teams." I have to be honest with you. One of the best. It's the truth.
Just hold your thought to let him finish.
It's the truth.
Just keep gathering your thoughts.
It is the truth.
Go ahead.
It is the truth. At some point, Arsenal led last season, right? This same Liverpool squad overtook Arsenal. You've forgotten?
Yep.
We topped the table for almost some months, right? Yeah. Before we started having injuries to
you were in the challenge until
my brother, don't forget, Arsenal top for almost 200 and something days. You ended up second. So you are poor. You are forget. See, let me tell you.
You're struggling.
The Yoruba people will say, "Lẹ́yìn ìgbà kìíní, ìgbà kígbà ló kù." If you are not first, you are nothing. You understand? So let me put it. Let me tell you. This Liverpool team is not. We are not saying we might win the league, but this player, these guys, this set of guys, compare them to your guys now. On paper, tell me your team. On paper, my left winger Salah, you have Saka is better than him, right? My goalkeeper. Let's if you want us to do it, so don't underestimate this team. Just talk about your team and just leave Liverpool. Let us do our thing.
Have your own thought on
we are not saying that we will win the league, but don't underestimate this team.
Okay.
It's not a new project.
Right.
The only thing that is new in that team is the new coach bringing his new ideas.
All right. So again, I'll ask this. Is Suheli, is it going to be a top 4 finish, or
we are contending for the title. We are contending for the title.
Can I now respond?
You're free to respond.
What's comrade?
Arsenal fans, they are so full of themselves.
You said something. That it is the same team, the same project,
right?
But just what's the difference? The coach,
right?
So don't underestimate them. The same team. So if you're telling me it's the same team, so I should be getting 4 points from them this season. That's what you're trying to tell me. No, is that what you're trying to tell me? No. Basically, that's what you're trying to tell me. Because if it's the same team, I got 4 points from them 2 seasons ago. I got 4 points from them last season. So that means I should be expecting another 4 points this season.
You got 4 points from Liverpool 2 seasons ago?
Yes!
Can we just check the
You can check it!
Okay.
Draw and a win.
Someone should check that for us, please. Go ahead with your point.
Please, somebody should check that. No, don't worry. The person at the backstage will
A draw and a win. 4 points, 2 seasons now.
Okay.
Yeah. So my point with this is this. Liverpool is a team. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on air, but
feel free. This
ever since I lost money on Liverpool 3 seasons ago.
I see.
For winning.
I knew, because I have a cousin.
Right.
He's a big diehard Liverpool fan from when we were kids. He's always been Liverpool. And you used to call them then inconsistent FC. Because they were never consistent.
That time they asked Ketel.
They can win 3 games, 5 games, and lose 3 games back to back in a very stupid way. He said something about on paper. His team is better than my team. You said it on paper.
You know that.
Team is better than my team on paper.
You know.
I am not arguing with you about that.
Of course.
But the same team that is better than you, that you are better than, has finished on top of you twice.
How many times has this Liverpool team finished above you? Above you?
No, you are better than me, right?
Even when we finished above you were like number 6 or 8.
No.
You didn't even qualify for the Champions League.
Don't forget that then
we even qualified.
We had a trashy team.
You know the funny thing? Arsenal fans don't always say the truth.
We had a trashy team.
You don't always say the truth. You come to Anfield.
Cedric as my right back.
We trash you 5-1. We beat you 4-1.
That's a lot.
Bobby Firmino will dribble past your defenders. Jota will slot him.
Before we started this podcast, I asked you a question.
It's funny.
Before we started this podcast,
It's funny.
Before we started this podcast, I asked you a question.
I'm sure you are scared to play us.
If baby starts to walk, and after he has started walking, he's walking, we're used to the fact that he's walking, we expect him to run, right? And all of a sudden he starts crawling back. What do you say? It's digressing. You understand? It's going backwards, right? That is Liverpool for you.
You are saying somebody that has won 6 Champions League is not making progress. Has not made progress.
See, that's the problem with people.
It's funny.
You see, that's the problem. A Liverpool fan that is born today will only know about the past. Does he know about what Liverpool is doing currently? No, he's not experiencing the joy.
Really? So history is not part of your Arsenal team. I understand because you don't have the history. That's why Arsenal doesn't have the history.
Liverpool fans this. I'm telling Liverpool fans this, right? America just started understanding football. They just started keying into it. Most of American Liverpool fans started supporting Liverpool in the past 3 years.
There's no fact to back that.
You understand?
There's no fact to back that. There's nothing to back that.
Most of the I'm sorry to say, most of the ones I have met,
that you have met,
most of the ones
they are just.
What did I say? Most of the ones I have met, my own statistics, right?
Okay.
Most of the ones I have met in pubs, most of them just started supporting Liverpool recently, so they've not even seen you guys win those trophies. They've not lived the moment. You understand? There's one thing you call living the moment in football. If you are not living a moment, then you're living the past.
Is Arsenal living the moment?
We're living the moment right now.
All right, guys. Enough of Liverpool and Arsenal. My initial question was, where do you see Liverpool at the end of the season?
Contending.
And Wale is like,
we are contending.
We are contending.
He knows.
But this question this question can be the same with
the day we play Arsenal. Please bring him on set.
No.
Because I want to see that 4 points. If he must take that 4 points. Trust me.
Anyways,
I have a gift for you if you take that 4 points.
I have a gift for the viewers when I beat you.
All right, you heard that right. Yeah. So this question is not going to be the same that I'm going to be asking Ajagz, because I can't ask Ajagz where do I see Arsenal, because going to the season, Arsenal needs to win the league. I mean, that's the standard right now. Am I wrong? I mean, coming from last season, this season, no doubt about that. Arsenal is winning the league. Because there's no more excuse right now. I think.
No. It's,
okay. We understand 2 seasons ago, Saliba was out. All through the season was injured. Last season, we know what happened.
You answered the question yourself.
Okay.
What I mean by you already answered the question. And what's the answer to that question? You said 2 seasons ago what?
It was Saliba was out.
Gabriel was out.
Then last season, so another thing. But this season,
now those factors,
right?
That was there. If those factors repeat themselves, right? It could still happen. I beat Liverpool.
Wala day today for Liverpool.
I want to.
Beating Liverpool is a trophy.
I'm not trying to come at them.
You can't even do that.
I'm not trying to come at them.
In the past 7 years, we have more points.
We played Liverpool. There was a time Liverpool. 3 seasons ago. Yeah, the season that you guys
3
were
seasons.
3 seasons ago, you guys were.
We trashed you.
What season was the season that they didn't make it?
Jesus.
They didn't make top 5. They didn't make any.
Yeah.
Yes, you didn't make top 5 2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago?
Yes, what did you finish as? Check your point.
2 seasons ago.
Yes,
They were out of Champions League.
So.
Yeah,
three seasons ago.
That was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Last season, you guys didn't play in the Champions League.
I'm telling you,
last
2
season
seasons ago,
you
didn't make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I want to bring out is this: that 2 seasons ago that you had that problem. I told, like I said, my cousin that's a Liverpool. I told him this, and my other friend that's a Liverpool. I told them this. Very simple thing. The only reason why Liverpool was struggling the way they were struggling was the injuries to their 3-4 players within the season. That was the reason why. If not, Klopp has a way of converting all his strength to his attack and forgetting about his midfield. I said that. You understand? He talked about on paper Liverpool and me. Liverpool is better than me on paper.
Do you know Liverpool could have won the league last season if those injuries were not there?
All right, guys, enough of Liverpool and Manchester.
It's funny.
Let's talk about the biggest club competition in Europe. Last week we saw the UEFA Champions League. We saw some big boys play. With the new league phase of the Champions League. I think we all have been trying to adjust with the new phase, right? Any issues? No, we good, right?
Yeah.
With the new phase, yeah. And then
The grouping is something I'm still trying to
get. We'll tend to adjust. On the long run, yeah. But which of the teams, caught your attention for the Champions League? On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Which of the teams you think, this was outstanding?
I was disappointed in Man City to start with.
Playing a goalless draw against the champions of Italy. Don't forget about that.
And we played against the previous champions of the Champions League, the champions of the Premier League. I don't understand. That's the top tier team.
So
it's the so-called champions of Italy that you're talking about. When they just won it, that's the first time they're winning it. So
the first time Inter is winning it, or I don't get. The first time Inter is winning it,
No.
I don't mean first time. Like they just won it recently.
And there's been rotation in Italy.
You understand?
From Napoli
So
to AC to Inter.
Who has been winning the Premier League for the past 7 seasons?
But this is the Champions League.
No.
My
point is this. And the same Man City has always been making it to semi-final, finals of Champions League.
So you were expecting
so
a whitewash.
They're stronger. They may not be. Have been a whitewash like the way Bayern Munich beat. No. But I was expecting something like a game that they would win or put them on their toes, right? People come for me and said Arsenal played rubbish too in the Champions League against Atlanta.
Right.
And I told them no. I lost my midfield. I don't have a midfield. And they are playing against a team like Atlanta that won Euro and gave their league problem. You understand? So Atlanta it's not even a small team to play with. You understand? And I was playing away. Yes, they'll say Man City was playing away, but it's Man City.
But which of these teams is a powerhouse in Europe? Inter or City?
City. Currently.
Currently.
Yes.
But the history says it's Inter.
You're going back to the history. That's what this is about.
Let's go to Wale. Which of the teams, caught your attention?
Bayern Munich.
Vincent Company.
Bayern Munich. I think when he took over, I was expecting him to have problems with the players because I don't know if you have seen a video of
Vincent Company. Burnley players when he was at Burnley, right?
That was crazy. Crazy man management skills. I think he doesn't really have that.
But that was when he was coaching boys.
So I think
this is Bayern Munich.
It is still the same Vincent Company. It doesn't matter. The ego of I'm the coach might still, be there. So I was expecting him not to, perform, but his teams are putting some numbers into the net right now. 9-2. They are scoring.
They got 5 during the weekend.
They are scoring for fun. Forget the caliber of team they play. They play Dynamo Zagreb that hasn't lost in how many games? Maybe 28 matches or so. I think they sacked the coach of that club immediately. They've sacked him. So because that was it was Portugal playing Korea.
I want to say, not to cut you short.
Yeah, no problem.
There's one thing about the Bayern Munich team. Everyone is talking about company, but you're forgetting one thing. My enemy is there, and he has carried his cost to that team.
Harry Kane.
So the Harry Kane cost is there.
Sarcastic, bro.
The Harry Kane cost is
One
there.
day Harry Kane will win a trophy, and there will be hand to.
He cannot because he has carried the Tottenham cost.
I know people. People said this about Chelsea. Chelsea will never win the Champions League, bro. When they started winning, they won 2. They won it I think in 3 years or 4.
So there's hope for us now. That means there's hope for us now winning the Champions League.
Of course, Arsenal will still win a trophy someday. They will have something in their cabinet.
Win the Champions League, they won the trophy.
When you come to Anfield, there's a tour of Anfield. There's nothing.
I think earlier on I saw your kid, right?
Right.
When your kid is going to be talking about football, the way we're talking about,
right?
You know what you will say?
What?
You say, Daddy, there was a time. I think you said Liverpool was in the Premier League. Why are they playing in the Championship?
Alright guys, this has been Gold Rush Football Podcast on Gold Rush Football TV. I still remain your favorite podcaster, Olanrewaju Abodurin. This episode is proudly sponsored by Chai Clothing Also sponsored by Better Life Stores, sponsored by Wale Ajagz, sponsored by Chooks the Realtor. And we just want to say massive thank you to all our sponsors. They've been doing a lot of good for us. And also the listeners and the viewers that have been watching this, we want to say a very big thank you to you. And don't be selfish when you watch this. Send to your football lovers as well. Let them watch what you've been enjoying, please.
Yes.
And also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. From me and my guys right here, we'll say a very good bye to you guys. Have a lovely week ahead of you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.